USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely fantastic on this fine Tuesday morning, whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast episode, whether that be morning, evening, or into the night. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now, remember, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. It helps out the show so much. Remember, you can leave a comment or respond to this week's episode's question by going to the description of the episode in Spotify. And if you scroll down, you should see a comment section. I'll read those comments out loud on the next week's following episode. This is also an ad-supported show, so we'll take a break about 10 minutes into the show, something like that, and about 20 minutes into the show after that. And the last thing is, please go ahead and join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us on Reddit. Where you can also respond in the mega thread there in case you don't want to be limited or constrained by character limits. So, we also do a Would You Rather every single week, so you can respond to the Would You Rather, or you can also do that in Spotify, so please go ahead and do that. And without further ado, why don't we head into this week's episode? So we don't have many comments or many things to read out this week. It's that time of the year. What I was going to say before it cut off, because my audio interface disconnected from my computer, was that it's that time of the year. It's the summertime. People in the winter, people want to listen to something to pass the time away, do whatever, go to sleep. And now people are out and about, guys. We're going to barbecues now. We're going to Outbacks. I don't even know what that is. We're going to patios. We're hitting rooftop bars now if you're old enough and of age, which in Canada is 19 plus, and America is 21 plus. So I'm watching all of you. But what I'm saying is people are out and about. It's not necessarily podcast time. It's not a podcast time of the year, which is fine because we appreciate every single listen and every single download and every single person who decides to tune in to this podcast, regardless of when you tune in. I don't care if you're a listener from 5 years. Some people have been listening to this podcast for 5 years, which makes me very overwhelmed to believe that I've been doing this for that long, or almost, I guess. Or maybe if you've been listening for just a month. It doesn't matter to me or just last week. Because we appreciate every single person whose ears are freaking locked in right now, whose ears are encapsulated by the headphone that surrounds their conscious experience and the wavelengths that are intruding and protruding into their ears, being processed by those fluidic sacs in your inner ear, which is a real thing called the cochlea, which transmits literal waves into comprehensible brain synapses, which you can understand by tuning in to this frickin' podcast, everybody. So why don't we kick it off with that frickin' super hyped up message that I just have for you all. And now we're going to dial it back. Everybody. And we're going to read. We're going to frickin' read, everybody. We love reading here. So the Would You Rather from last week was, would you rather cry every time something is funny or laugh every time something is sad? So we had a 66% to 33% response, and with the win, we've got the laughing when something is sad, which is seems a little psychopathic to me. That's the right term. It seems a little bit cold-hearted. So instead of, just trying to lean into the cry when you're laughing, just being like, that's funny. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. It's so funny. Oh, my God. Instead of trying to lean into that, you're going with, oh, my God, my grandma just died. And you're going, oh, shit. Yo, I'm so sorry for your loss, dog. Dude, I'm so sorry for your loss, bro. That's crazy. I can't believe you just lost your grandma, bro. You guys are super close, right? She practically raised you. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, she was like your closest family friend. Holy shit, bro. That's so depressing. So you're gonna go with that, dude? I like made myself laugh there. So you're gonna go with that instead of the leaning into because the crying when leaning into the funny is like you can justify that genuinely happens, but when sad shit happens, it's not the general response or immediate sort of thought to think that, oh yeah, I'm just gonna burst out laughing. Oh my god, dude, my mom just got cancer. Yo! That's crazy, bro. That's not really the most immediate response to that kind of news. So, there's some give and take there, but I'm worried, guys. I'm worried about you. I'm genuinely a little concerned for everybody's mental states right now. Let's read out the comments. I think we got 2 comments. So from last week's episode was, what was your worst screw up you'll admit on your deathbed? The Green Changeling says, this is just a response to the Would You Rather. The Would You Rather has a loophole. Listen, bruh. I say this every time. There's no loopholes, okay? If you think of a loophole, you can think of a way around it. It's common. There's no loopholes, bruh. Laughter can lead to crying. Yes, I understand that. I just talked about that. Thus, crying at the funny doesn't exclude laughing at it. It just means you laugh so hard you start to shed tears. That said, laughter can be disguised as laughter if done correctly. Laughter can be disguised as laughter if done correctly? Maybe I'm not reading this properly. But yes, I guess that is kind of a loophole, but that's, given that, I feel like that's kind of just an obvious fact, low-key, not to shit on you in your comment, my dear friend. But I feel like that's what you mean. Is that why? That's kind of why you should choose, the laughing to crying, despite our psychopathic commenters' reaction to hearing that Would You Rather. Because I feel like that's, like you can spin that. You can spin the laugh into the cry, but I don't know if you can, spin the sad into the laugh. I don't know if those are transferable. So yes, the Green Changing, I agree with you in principle, but we got to stop trying to find loopholes in the Would You Rather, because it's not fun. Guys, it's not fun when you do that. Just lean in. Just lean into it and just let loose a little bit and just be like, let's just take this for face value and just, forget about the loopholes. All right? It's not fun that way. Oh. Okay. We have a comment from Reddit on our Reddit thread, Reddit asks us, which you should all join. I see that we have 30 members. Do we have 30 members of this? Guys, I'm just looking at this right now. I'm so sorry. I never checked this. We have 30 members. Or did we go? Yeah, we have 30 members. That's crazy. What the heck? Wow, okay. For a Reddit page, guys, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's pretty wild. I never thought wow, okay. I thought we had like 30 members is, that's something to... I might have to get on FaceTime with my mom tonight. I'm about to get on FaceTime with my mother. Mother, I have 30. Mom, I understand you don't want me to drop out of university, but I have 30 members of my subreddit for my podcast. Oh, guys, I'm just goofing tonight. All right. From the Dopic says on our mega thread, "Hi, Luke. Great episode. Thank you very much, my good friend, the Dopic. I think I'd rather cry when something funny happens, because then I could just pass them off as tears of joy. See, that's what I'm saying. Laughing with sad, on the other hand, is harder to explain. That's very true. For the question, there's so many things that I've done that I'll never see the light of day, not even on my deathbed. Let's just say that I've made some not so smart decisions. Have a great day, Luke. What kind of decisions are you making, bro? What is this? Like, are you the leader of some underground, like, revolutionist sort of ideology? Are you planning to... Is this V for Vendetta level, like, terrorist kind of plot that's happening here? What's going on? Like, never see the light of day. I mean, I've done some embarrassing stuff that I, probably don't wish to talk about at length. But, I don't know, take to my deathbed? That's a big one. That's a big one. That's like that's a whole thing you got going on. That's investment. You genuinely fear the consequences of this information getting out. What is this, Edward Snowden level of, kind of outing the government for some massive secret? Are you the linchpin in some sort of massive global government conspiracy that you got to take this to your grave? You're going to swallow a freaking cyanide pill before they get this information out of you? All right, folks. We're going to go to... What did I just do? Damn it. Oh. I just had a great Would You Rather, and now I just checked my stupid subreddit, and now I just went away. Let me just find this here for you folks, because you guys are just the best people in the world, and I would never want to deprive you of your Would You Rathers on a fine Tuesday morning. But it was so good. Okay, let me just take a quick break and let me find this. Okay, I have now found it. So the Would You Rather for this week is, would you rather be cursed to forever rhyme or always be unable to tell the time? Yo, this person had this meta. This is a meta Would You Rather if you get that one, folks. But would you rather be cursed for forever to rhyme everything you say? You have to rhyme everything. Like literally you are rhyming. If you have to do any public speaking, I sell rhymes like dimes, type of, you got to get up there and start spitting. Or you just look at your phone and you're just guessing. You're literally just guessing when you need to be somewhere. You're trying to tell time by the sun. You have to travel back in time and start channeling your ancestors' ability to know what time of the day it was to look at the sun in the sky is more or less. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to hop into today's episode.
Some things work better together, like NARS's Soft Matte Complete Concealer and Radiant Creamy Concealer. Soft Matte Complete Concealer erases and blurs imperfections with full coverage. Then, Radiant Creamy Concealer evens and brightens with a luxurious texture and radiant finish. 2 concealers, 1 flawless look. Perfect for a no-foundation base. NARS, better together. Visit Ulta to shop now.
Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from across the vast reaches of the internet. Like I said, I hope each and every single one of you is doing absolutely spectacular on this fine Tuesday morning, and we're going to hop into today's episode. So as you can see clearly by the episode title, episode 293, I think we're at. What is the stupidest thing the most intelligent person in your life believes? Now, I am a firm believer, okay, that intelligence does not equal, or being smart does not equal being intelligent, okay? Intelligence is a multifaceted thing, and I think, honestly, I know a lot of people in my life who maybe wouldn't test the best on, like, a standardized test, or maybe weren't the strongest at math, but they are so intuitive at life. They just figure things out. And they have skills beyond what I would be able to accomplish, especially practical skills. Like it's, you couldn't pay this person to do a polynomial, all right? They would look at something like that and be like, I mean, I'm checking out, right? And people would be like, oh, what are you, stupid? But, my car breaks down on the side of the highway. Bro has never had any formal training with cars, okay? Watches YouTube videos about cars and just gets it. It's intuitive. It's like, oh yeah, just because your carburetor blew a gasket and your catalytic converter is not convertering your catalyst. And I'm like, do I pay you? Should I be offering you money for this? Like, I feel like you're offering me a service right now, and then it'll just be like, oh yeah, you just got to do this one thing here, and you just gotta proceed with the rotational gastric intake removal, and you should be totally fine. I'm like, this is. I feel dumb. Like, I genuinely feel stupid. Nothing I said literally made any sense at all. If you have any practical skills whatsoever, I probably seem like the dumbest person on the planet, because this just in, I'm one of the dumbest people on the entire planet when it comes to anything practical. Okay? Like, I literally found out like 2 years ago that you need a stud finder to put things into your wall. And then it seemed to me so obvious. I'm like, yeah, just drill into the drywall? I felt like such an idiot. I'm like, how do people hang up their TVs? It's like, oh, well, there's actually giant planks of wood in the wall, or else your house and walls wouldn't be able to stand. So it's kind of, that should be intuitive, folks. It should be. But it genuinely is not. So, I'm a genuine believer that intelligence does not equal being smart. Intelligence, I think, is more about, your ability to connect the dots, about maybe life in general, okay? Because, there are also a lot of very smart people out there who, they struggle to tell the people at McDonald's not to put pickles on their burgers. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Trying to figure that out is that's a difficult. That's a fastball. That's a fastball at life. All right, comes in more waves than one. All right, and that doesn't even make any sense. I'm making up sayings now. Okay, enough of me jibber jabbering. Let's get on with this. First one comes from WTF people. Programmer up at work will argue to his death that dinosaurs don't and never existed, and never did exist. See, what baffles me about this one is that my brother in Christ, or whatever religion you happen to follow, I'm not religious, so I'm just saying that for the meme of it all. You literally work with computers, okay? If you wanted to find out the answer to the question you're asking, did dinosaurs exist, for most of history, that was impossible. You had to just trust Mr. Joe Blow on the street, who's going to tell you that they didn't exist or that they did exist. You literally work with the single most powerful device and knowledge accumulator in all of human history. Okay? If you want confirmation whether dinosaurs existed or not, I don't know. Have you ever heard of a computer? You literally work with them, my brother. It is a computer programmer not believing dinosaurs existed. It's a Google search away. Okay? It is literally it takes zero skills to make a Google search. Okay, that is one of the most lowest skill activities you can participate in, and you, my brother, are a programmer. Okay, how could you're trying to tell me that you work at Google, and you're designing the very search engine that's trying to find information that's precisely the inquiry of the question that you're asking? You're just gonna be like, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, there's I don't know if I believe that one. I usually trust you, Google. I've worked on you for a long time. I've worked on search engines quite a while in my life. I've worked at Google, I've worked at Bing and Yahoo and all the biggest search engines on the planet. I'm working currently now with OpenAI on ChatGPT, and coming back to maybe advise for some other large language models, but, I usually trust you. But dinosaurs? Come on. What did I say? Dragons. Yeah, dragons existed too. Yeah, ogres. Ogres and dragons. Talking donkeys, how about? All right, now what are we just saying the plot from Shrek is live action? Are we saying that was just a documentary? Come on. Let's get real here, Google. Normally you're on the straight and narrow. Normally, Google. This one, when it comes to dinosaurs, I think you got to let the experts take the wheel here. Okay, let the people behind the scenes take the reins on this one. Okay, dinosaurs, not real. Okay, I don't care what reputable websites come up, top of the list search engine .edu, .org. Dinosaurs is a little far-fetched, don't you think? Little far-fetched. Oh yeah, there's millions and billions of bone fragments all over the place. Get real, okay? Why don't you live in reality here with us, with the rest of us here for a second? Yeah, that's insane. So the reply from Acker Hacks. How does he explain, the bones everywhere? I mean, that's got to be undeniable, right? It's like, not only it's not like there's one or two bones, right? It's not like there's one or two skeletons where it's like, oh, this is friggin' weird. No, there's like millions upon billions, and not only that, they also span over the course of millions and hundreds of millions of years. Okay? What is the thing? What is the saying? Oh man. Oh, frick. I forgot about it. It's like the Tyrannosaurus Rex is like closer to the iPhone than it was to like the Triceratops or something. I forget what the saying is, but it's like we often think of these dinosaurs all existing at once. No, they were here for hundreds of millions of years. There were multiple extinction events, and we can literally prove it. Okay? If there's anything on the planet that could doubt its existence, probably humans. We are very small. I don't know if you've ever been to a museum before, but dinosaurs are kind of notoriously known for being fucking gigantic, okay? Dinosaurs are fucking huge, all right? Humans, in comparison, rather small, all right? We would probably be harder to find in the rubble of a global fucking extinction event. So reply from What the Fuck People says, they're making it up, trying to persuade us from believing in God and his creation of the universe. You see where I'm going with that. Also, why is God invested in no dinosaurs? I never understood this take. God has no problems with frickin' elephants. Okay, they're huge. Or giraffes. Why does God draw the line at dinosaurs? He's like, giant mammal with tusks with a weird, snout that can grab things and shoot water out. And a giant animal with a long neck, eats mostly from high trees. But giant lizards? Yeah, that's nice try. Nice try on that one. Yeah, that shit's not fucking real. Yeah, it's not a chance. No way that's happening. Okay, folks, we got to move on. I'm harping on this. Next one comes from Blizzard Buffalo. My sister has 2 college degrees and believes in the hollow earth theory. You know how obscure a conspiracy theory is when the average person has literally never... What the hell is the hollow earth theory? Why are we making up conspiracy? I feel like people are just making up conspiracies just because they have nothing. There's like, oh, we ran out of conspiracies. We ran out. Oh, they've disproved the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, okay. Oh, it turns out dinosaurs actually do exist. All right, let's think of something. Maybe the Earth is like a basketball, and there's just air on the inside. What? Why? Why are we even trying to make this up? I don't understand what the motivation is to make this up. Like what? Okay, so say the earth is hollow. Say the earth is hollow. Okay? What is that? What information are you providing? Well, just means that everyone's freaking lying to you, bro. Just means you're a freaking other sheep, dude. It means you've just been following along. You're just towing along. All right? Learning your ABCs. Learning how to count. Multiply. Maybe add. Subtract and divide. What other lies have they been telling you? I don't know, dude, but I'm pretty sure one of them is that the earth is not hollow. Okay, we've been digging pretty deep into the earth. We have the most advanced technology to be able to dig as far as we ever have in the earth. And guess what? It's more fucking rocks, okay? It is rock after rock after rock. I'm sure if we found a massive cavern where somebody finally hit it and broke it and just was like, hello, 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 and it was just a giant echoing hollow ball, that would be pretty big news. You know, I feel like that would be pretty massive, you know, pretty big breakthrough, you know, no pun intended. But I just don't understand the point of this conspiracy theory. What is the goal you're trying to accomplish? Well, you know, if the earth is hollow, then like friggin' like the earth is hollow, then like friggin' just we could probably jump like a lot higher than the government's telling us we can jump and stuff, because the earth is probably like bigger, like bouncy like a basketball. You could probably jump really high. But like the government's saying that you can't though, because it's like a forced gravity. What? Why? Why would the government want us to not jump higher? I don't understand. Well, what is the goal of this conspiracy? Oh my god. It just seems so like, wow, you have a lot of time on your hands. Like I envy how much free time you have. Is this the hill you really want to die on? There's so many hills you can die on. Legit real conspiracy theories that actually, like, you know, involve things like global capitalism, you know, oppression of minorities, systematic oppression of minorities, and systematic oppression of resource-rich countries, which colonialism has extorted their natural resources and exploited them. Those are real conspiracy theories, okay? Assassination campaigns and attempts and successful assassinations of world global leaders because they didn't fall in line with the capitalistic goals of powerful nations. Those are real conspiracy. But the earth is hollow, bro. The earth is so freaking hollow, dude. Imagine the echo when you like yell into the crust of the earth, bro. Like that's gonna be a pretty loud echo. Like somebody's gonna want that shit, dude. What? Why? Why don't you should pursue journalism so you can take that curiosity and channel it into something that, I don't know, fucking matters and is like genuinely real. Like, just holy crap, dude. So, reply from Quantic Wizard. Honestly, well, still ridiculous. I have more respect for it than Flat Earth, because at least it's not immediately visible and provable with basic eyesight and common sense. Simple physics proves that it's not hollow, but at least there's some baseline of if you ignore science and act like a normal idiot who, while stupid, has eyes, plausibility. Yeah, the funniest one is the guy who tries to prove the earth is flat, and by his experiment proving the earth is flat, he proves that it's round. It's like, because he basically goes, how the experiment was, this is funny ass video of this, so you guys should find it on YouTube, it's fucking hilarious. But this guy basically says, okay, well, the earth is flat because I'm going to stand at this one location, and like a kilometer away, or like a couple kilometers away, I'm going to get somebody else to stand there, and I'm going to point a laser. All right. And the earth, since the earth is flat, that laser that person is going to stand directly across from me, and they're going to hold a piece of white cardboard or something in front of them, and that laser will hit them directly where I'm pointing the laser on a straight angle because the Earth is flat. So he does this, and the person doesn't see the laser. So he says, okay, well, why don't you get up on a chair and hold the piece of cardboard in the air, and see what happens. Lo and behold, the fucking laser hits the thing. Yeah, because the Earth is round, okay? Obviously, if you're pointing a laser and the curvature of the Earth is going downwards as space goes on, as distance goes on, you have to hold something higher if you're pointing it at a straight line in order for that line to hit. Yeah, proving the Earth is freaking round. And he goes, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe that was interesting like 4, 5, 6, 700 years ago when they discovered that the Earth is fucking round, when Galileo was all like, oh yeah, by the way, we're not the center of the fucking Earth anymore, or Copernicus or whoever it was like, yeah, we made that discovery. Thanks a lot, fucking Albert Einstein. We made that discovery like hundreds of years ago. Why don't you put your effort into something that we haven't discovered yet? Holy shit, man. You're learning very old knowledge, my brother.
This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Next one comes from I'm Your Huckleberry. My wife is the smartest person I know, but she is constantly worried about what I call mom case scenarios. For example, she told me not to let our child walk down a street that was bordered by a wrought iron fence. Why? Because he may get impaled on the spear-like points of the top of the fence. Well, you know how wrought iron fences are, and their ability to just, separate and, impale small children. I've been saying this. I've been a staunch advocate of this. It's time that I came out of the closet. It's time that I stopped, making YouTube videos behind a veil and start to actually promote this content that needs to be shed, that needs to have light shed on it. Okay? These wrought iron fences think they're so smug and think they're so entitled that they can just, a little gust of wind and I'm just going to get knocked off my foundation and I'm just going to impale a child. I'm just going to impale children. I feel like I sound like Tucker Carlson right now. Why are wrought iron fences impaling children? It seems like a Tucker Carlson beat. That seems like something Tucker Carlson would write about. Every time I think of Tucker Carlson, all I can think of is the green M&M. He's like, so M&Ms can't be sexy anymore. Well, why's that? Turns out the green M&M has exchanged her high-heeled boots for frumpy shoes. Looks like I can no longer have sex with the green M&M. It's like, no one was saying that you should be having sex with the green M&M, my guy. Why are you trying to rizz up the green M&M? Is this some like Hollywood, party that you've been at? You saw the green M&M there a couple times and you're trying to make your move? And you're trying to be like, no, babe, don't worry. I understand. They shouldn't have put you in those frumpy ass shoes, okay? They're not even Air Forces, All right, there's some like knockoff Air Dunces. Okay, Blair Dunces. They're making you rock Blair Dunces. Okay, and I don't think that's right, babe. I think you should go back to those sexy high heels. Why don't you and I just get out of here? Let's get out of here. Let's just get out of here. It's so loud. We should talk. Oh my God, we should talk and just talk this out. Me and you, I feel like we just connect on another level. Oh, maybe we should go. Maybe I can get you some high heels, babe. Don't even worry about it. I got you. Oh, man, the rabbit holes this podcast takes me down. But, you know, I get it. It's easy to, like, of course. Obviously, you're going to worry about your children. But there comes a point in time where, you know, you gotta loosen the reins on this one a little bit, okay? You can't carry your child everywhere. You know, it's not gonna work out the best for you if you're, you know, sitting in little Timmy's third grade math class being like, well, pencil sharpeners. Did you not even hear the name sharpener? We're trying to get sharp. So what? Not okay. We're okay with sharp, but we're gonna get sharpener. We're gonna up the sharp. Not only we're gonna up the sharp. We're gonna get We're nurring sharps now. This is dangerous for children. This is a travesty. What if our children's get sharpened? I don't want a children's sharpener in the classroom. Do you? Wow. Okay. Well, children need to write. You know, they gotta draw. You know, they gotta put stuff down on a piece of paper because that's how school works. Next one comes from Cloud Muse. The smartest person I know genuinely believes they can function on 3 hours of sleep and just coffee. Like they're some kind of enlightened goblin. I seriously don't understand how some people brag about, or like humble brag about not getting sleep. It's like, yeah, I can function off of like 4 hours of sleep. What do you mean by function? Do you mean by suffer and take like 10 to 15 years off of your life expectancy? The doctor will literally tell you, like, by the time that you're like 60, being like, your body's in horrible condition. Like you're weak. Your muscles don't function. Something is very wrong here. How much sleep do you get per night? Yeah, like 4 hours. Well, that's your fucking answer right there. 3 to 4 hours of sleep every night is insanity, okay? You're gonna develop like schizophrenia or something. Be like, yeah, I'm like freaking paranoid all the time. I can't focus. My attention span's gone out the window. For some reason, I can't even read anymore. Yeah, because your brain has been deprived of literally like the number one thing the brain is supposed to do. Shut off. It literally needs to turn off. That's why we sleep. I remember I actually read one time on Reddit about this guy because he was just genuinely curious what would happen if you tried stopping sleeping. Because, you know, abstractly, sleep is quite a fascinating thing. Not every animal sleeps, right? There are a lot of animals that don't sleep. They're just constantly functioning all the time. Humans in particular are not one of those kinds of animals. Humans need sleep. But again, like I said, it's not true for every animal. So this guy was like, you know, well, what happens? What happens when I don't sleep? You know, I mean, I don't necessarily think you needed an inquiry and a formal inquiry into this to know the answer, or to, you know, really try to investigate the answer, because it's probably not going to end up. It's like asking the question, like, what would happen if I just stopped eating food? Well, I mean, I'm just going on a wild guess here. If you decided by your own will not to eat for as long as you possibly could, you know, this is just a guess. You know, I've never done it myself, so I can't speak from experience, but my best guess would is that you were going to die a suffering, horrible death from starvation. Because I don't know if you know this, maybe you don't, but humans need to eat food to live and survive. This is kind of basic 101. Anyways, I'm ragging on this guy, but he was curious. So he went like 20 days or 21 days or something without sleeping. And at the end of it, he basically just said, oh yeah, by the way, guys, I pretty much turned myself into a mental health patient. I am chronically paranoid now. I've been diagnosed with a paranoia condition. I have forever induced insomnia, so I cannot sleep, even if I want to now. And I am dealing with a vast amount of depression that I never dealt with before. So, yeah, I wouldn't, that's not necessarily something to brag about. Like I just said, I don't understand. It's part of this grind set, the grind culture. It's like, I freaking grind so much I don't even perform basic human functions. I grind so much I don't even poo. I don't even pee. I just hold that shit in. I just hold it in, bro. I'm like 30 seconds away from dying from, internal contusions and catastrophes and just organs that are going to bust at the seams. But I just figured, I'm kind of goated, though. I'm kind of built entirely different from the rest of you little fuckers. So I just don't think the rules apply to me in the same way. I don't need that shit. I just I'm like, wait, why am I doing this? It's like sleep. Why am I doing this? Pissing, shitting. Why am I doing this? Why don't I just fucking stop and why don't I just commit to the grind set and literally stop doing that? Yeah, it's such a stupid, okay, reply from Boot Rear says, one of my friends is like this, and she does function like that. Her employers love her. She gets massive amounts of shit done and done well. She also is constantly shaking in terrible health, and her hair falls out in patches. I mean, I really am going to say that I don't think the payoff is worth it. Okay, I don't really think at the end of your life you're going to be kind of kicking back and being like, I'm glad I lost all my hair at 25. I'm glad I ripped my hair out of my head. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty awesome choice by me. I don't really think that that's the good, I really think that's something worth bragging about. I induced Parkinson's. It's not genetic. I literally just induced it by getting no sleep. So, guess I'm pretty fucking sick, eh? I guess I'm pretty fucking dope. Yeah, sorry, I just can't get on board with that one. I'm no medical expert, but I think you should probably adhere to your body's most basic functions. Kind of just fall in line with what your body's kind of telling you. It's like why I hate in sports. Sometimes there's this mentality of push through the pain. I pulled my hamstring, and I really appreciated my coach being like, dude, don't practice. Literally don't practice. We need you for the games. We need you for practice. We need you to participate. Literally don't practice. Some people would be like, no, it's okay. And then they tear their hamstring from the literal bones in their body, and they will never recover or have a functioning hamstring the same way because they didn't take a break. It's yeah, that's what happens when you don't listen to your body. Just because you don't want it to happen doesn't mean it's just not happening anymore. All right? Just because you tore your freaking ACL doesn't mean it's going to be I'm just going to walk this one off. Yeah. I tore my Achilles, but it's whatever. I'll just keep grinding through the pain. It's okay, we'll have fun never walking properly ever again. It's kind of dumb. All right, next one comes from El Burro Esparquilo. Absolutely brilliant friend firmly believes that the average adult man could beat any given adult whitetail buck in an unarmed fight. No, you couldn't. You could just grab it by the antlers and go dead weight. You will never get the opportunity to do that because they are so much faster than you. And their legs are so skinny that would just take down when you could choke it out, he insists. I hate to break it to you, but you don't even have the leverage to be able to do that. By the time they're swinging their head in full force, you will be impaled, my good brother. You will be have no function left in your respiratory system. Okay, any semblance or any aspiration you may have had to breathe normally ever again will be forever dissolved. That is just not a reality for you after you get impaled by the antlers of a fully grown whitetail buck. Like, that is just not happening. Like, let's just see. How much does a whitetail buck weigh? All right, let's just see how much. Okay, I don't really know. Okay. Holy crap, guys. This is just insane, bro. A mature whitetail buck can weigh up to 500 pounds. So, anyways, this one says 150 to 300 pounds. It's fairly similar for a human being. But without antlers or headgear, expect a buck to weigh slightly less, but the difference is generally not substantial, so a rough estimate would be around 140 to 280 pounds for a buck without. So about a 300-pound buck with antlers. There are 300-pound people, but I wouldn't even trust myself in a fight against a 300-pound person. The average person going up against a 300-pound person is probably not going to fare very well for the underweight person. And also, when you're thinking of a buck being able to just swing its head, and, like, you're so screwed. Like, I don't see how you could possibly defend against that. I mean, that's why these animals have natural armor. We don't. Like, it is born with a weapon on its freaking forehead. Okay? We are born pudgy and soft and 90% freaking water. Or 70% or whatever the statistic is. We are so fucked. Okay? Have you ever heard about this whole thing where it's like humans individually are some of the most weakest, pathetic animals on the planet, but the only reason we're successful is because we're in groups and we can actually, like, think and strategize? You're trying to tell me? Dude, I think a possum could fuck you up, dude. I think a large enough rat could fuck you up. All right? Like, you're trying to tell me a full-grown whitetail buck is not going to severely dismember you at some point in the course of your fighting? Highly doubt it, bro. All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up there for today's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning into another episode of the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from /Reddit. I'm your host, Luke Digg. Remember, please, listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts. Do all that good stuff. Join our subreddit, answer the question and the Would You Rather, and I'm going to see y'all next week. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.